Hi, everyone. Hi, this is the first time of the live streaming with my students. So any comment, you can leave it and I will try to improve it. So how's your days? Yeah, hi, everybody. Iman, Fazlin. Okay, and also my ex-student and maybe some of SPM student is here. Okay, for those who don't have the link, maybe you can share in the group again. Okay, so we have to start. Maybe you give me about 2 to 3 minutes. So now it's about 44 of you. Maybe we should wait for another 10. Shall we? Okay, another 10. Then we're going to start. So today's our focus is on how to doing the proving question involve trigonometry, which is start from since from the SPM. Yes, Nisa, Aman. Whoa, many of you, So you can leave your comments there. You'll find that your comment will appear in the screen, sorry. Right? Okay. Who else want me to show his or her comment? You can leave any comment here. Okay. Long time no see, So at home, okay, everything? Should be no problem, Okay. So yeah, I see Kimbot, Arun. This is really my first time stream for batch 2020, 2021. So never mind, just like what I said, that we always try to explore something new. Okay, it's not stopping in any stage. Okay, we keep on improving, just like the trigonometry. Okay, actually, why you feel that trigonometry proving part is difficult? You may type your comments over there. Or later, I will give you some question and Q&A section. You can type your comment as well. Okay, so maybe most of you are thinking about, do you have any certain format or certain condition? Okay, Miss, could you please tell me, when I look at this question, how to do it, how to do that? Actually, trigonometry proving that is no plug and play section. You cannot say that I look at this question, what should do? Sometimes it's like something we need to make sure our basic concept about the trigonometry must be clear. And also maybe I just can sharing some tips when and how to start. And the other part, actually, it just keep on practice, practice, and practice. Okay, so today's, okay, Jian Hong, I'm not sure who is it. Hello. Okay, but good night. Okay, fine. Okay. And some more, okay, it's already 56, So shall we start? Okay. So if you are going to start, I'm going to sharing the screen. So if any question, you are having any question, you can leave it in the comments there. I will try to answer it later. So if you're ready with it, let us start from it. What is the tips in conquering the trigonometry proving? Okay, so let us proceed to it. Okay. Okay, so the tips in conquer the tree, I have about 7 to 8 tips. So we'll start from the first one. So are you ready with your pen and also the A4 paper? Okay, faster. I give you about 1 minute ready with it because you're not only looking at the screen and then just listen to me. Shall we do the hands-on together? Okay, so are you ready? If you are ready with it, I give you about 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay, if you are ready, you can type the comment ready. Okay, ready with the paper, ready with everything. Okay. Okay, are you ready, my dear? If you are ready, please type ready so we can start. Okay, I think at least you need 3 to 4 pages to answering the question. Okay, shall we start? Okay, let us start with it. Okay, thanks Fatin, thanks Kasrina, Atika, Ideal, everyone is ready. Okay, very good. Okay, Zoo also in Sarawak. Hi, Zoo. How are you? Okay, so let's start. Okay, so no matter how trigonometry, when you look at the question, maybe you should take about 1 minute to think about it. Do you have the idea? So if you have the idea, what you have to do now is, the first thing is, if you are able to continue, then proceed. Because proving question is like something, when you have no idea, okay, when you have no idea, and then automatic, you like stop and you cannot do many things. Okay, you cannot do many things. Okay, so what we should do now is, let us look at it. Okay, can I off the comment first? Wait a moment. Okay, so let us proceed. Give me some time. I'm testing. Okay, the first one, the tips. The tips one is always start from the complex side or complicated side. Okay, when you look at the question, normally the proving question, you must have left side, right side, isn't it? Okay, so what is the reason why we should start from the complicated one? Okay, we have to prove the trigonometry identity or maybe any equation. Okay, this is because a lot of the easier way to eliminate, because you start from the complicated one, you can eliminate it, become a simple terms. Okay, so this is the reason why we should start from the complex side. For example, let's say we look at this question. Example 1, prove the identity. Okay, so now you have the left-hand side, tangents to the power of 4x, okay, is equals to secant square x multiply with tangent square x minus 1. Okay, and be careful with it. The plus 1 is a second terms. Okay, so somehow you have to take a look at the bracket together. Okay, so the approach we have to do is, it will be wise to start proving from the right-hand side. Okay, the right-hand side. So this is more complicated. So are you ready to start to prove it? Start from the right-hand side. If you are ready with it, let us start together. Okay, so firstly, we look at it. The right-hand side, we should write it right-hand side is equals to secant square x tangent square x minus 1 plus 1. Okay, so you can try to do the comparison because the left-hand side is fully in terms of tangent. So it means we must do something to the secant square because from the square form, we can link to the hexagon. Still remember the magic hexagon? Okay, so I'm like the diagram that I'll show you. From here, as we know that the left-hand side triangle, right? From here, as we know that tangent square x plus 1 is equals to secant square x. Right? That's why I say that it must require the very basic identity and ratio of trigonometry. You must alert and clear with it. Then we only can proceed to the question of proving. Okay, so this means that from here we need to replace, right? We need to replace the secant square x in terms of tangent. Okay, so you just substitute it as tangent square x plus 1. And this one will be tangent square x minus 1 plus 1. So the second line, at least we already proved everything in terms of like terms. Okay, then after that, what is the next part we have to do? We try to identify. So these two product form, you will find that it looks like A plus B, A minus B, right? The algebraic. So we can say that it's equals to tangent square x square minus 1 square plus 1. So lastly, after we simplify, you found that the first term is tangent to the power of x minus 1 plus 1. So what happens to constant? You will find that it will be eliminated. And last, what did you get is something exactly the same as the left-hand side. So is it very simple? There is a tips one. Start from the complicated one and applying the identity. At the same time, you're also applying the basic algebraic expansion. Okay, so this is the first one. Okay, so do you still have any problem with it? Okay, so if you have no problem with it, you can type the comments. I can read the comments. Okay. Okay, so now let us proceed to the second tips. Don't worry, later I will give you some question and then you can follow the tips I share with you and you try to do it. Okay, the second one. Okay, the tips two is we can try to express it into the basic trigonometry sine and cosine. Okay, to both sides of the equation, we can express all the tangent, cosecant, secant, and cotangent in terms of sine and cos. This is one to standardize both sides have the identity. Then like this, we can easier to compare one side to another. Okay, so this is a tips too. If you really have no idea, you double check. Is it they are able to express it into the sine and cosine? Okay, so let us look at it. Example. This is example 2. Okay, example 2. Okay, the left-hand side is show that secant A. Okay, now the angle is not x anymore. It's changed to the angle A in bracket reciprocal of cotangent plus cotangent. And we need to prove it is equals to a reciprocal form as well. Okay, so from here, we should transform. Because there is no direct identity, it's unlike the tips one. Okay, there is a tangent square and secant square relation. So from here, the only thing we can do is transform the secant, cosecant into sine and cosine. So we start from the left-hand side. Okay, so from the left-hand side, the secant, as we know that, is something related to reciprocal of cos, right? Secant A is something equals to reciprocal of cos. And 1 over cotangent, as we know that, actually is also equals to tangent, isn't it? Right? 1 over cotangent is also equals to tangent. So how about the tangent in terms of sine and cos? So it will be ratio between sine A over cos A. Okay, sine A over cos A. And at the same time, automatically the cotangent A, it will be cos A over sine A. So convert everything into sine A and cos A. Okay, and then here I mentioned scroll to bottom for full solution. So we give it a try to do it. Okay, so if you are ready with it, so from here we are going to do something as the following. Okay, so when we converting everything in terms of sine and cos, the only thing we have to do right now is, okay, equalize the denominator of the bracket, okay, the terms under the bracket. Okay, so you just copy down again the 1 over cos A. So here it will become, equalize the denominator, it will become cos A sine A. Correct? Cross multiply, isn't it? So you can get sine square A plus cos square A. Okay? Then from here, you found that that is an identity. Right? That is a basic identity. It cannot run away from the square form, right? Identity. Okay? So it's obviously, it will become equals to 1. Am I right? So once this becomes a 1, automatically this one, I will make it become 1 all over cos square A sine A, because the denominator is the product relation. Okay, the denominator is a product relation. Okay, for those who are not sure why I make it as a 1, so which is sine square A plus cos square A is equals to 1. Okay, so from here, you can double check again the right-hand side. Do you have the terms cosine? There is no cosine, isn't it? So the same thing applying the identity. From here, we can get that cos square A is equivalent to 1 minus sine square A. Right? So automatically, it will become 1 over 1 minus sine square A and multiply with the sine A. Because you have to do the proving part, it must be exactly the same as the right-hand side. So automatically, you will get sine A, no square, sine A. Okay, the sine A minus sine to the power of 3. So you get exactly the same as the right-hand side. Ta-da! It's not that difficult, right? You just need to be careful with it every single step. Do not make any careless mistake. Okay, so then you can solve it and can get it easily. Okay? Is it okay with it? Okay. Good. Okay. So if you have no problem with it, okay. Nak tengok muka saya kan? I can change the layout. You can take a look at my face. Okay, we continue. Let us continue. Okay, so after that we get this. Okay, so this is the second tips. So you double check actually how difficult of the question when you are calm down and try to think about the initial step should be no problem. Okay, so let us proceed to the third one. The third one, what is it? Okay, the third one, it will be combine terms into a single fraction. Okay, that is another tip. Combine terms into the single fraction. So when there are two terms on one side, okay, and another one term is on the other side, we try to combine them, become one single fraction to make their denominator are the same. Okay, to make their denominator are the same. For example, okay, let's look at this question. Okay, example, prove the identity. Okay, the question asks you to prove the identity. So you double check which one is single terms, which one is two terms. Okay, so this one you have two terms. And this is a single terms, right? Okay, so therefore, we are going to start with the left-hand side. Okay, notice the left-hand side has two terms, okay? And then the right-hand side is only one. So we start from the left-hand side, okay? Combining from the left-hand side. Okay, so equalize the denominator must be clear. Okay, let us proceed to it, Okay, start from the left-hand side. Okay, from here, you will find that if you are unable to equalize the denominator directly, so you can convert it become this, because 1, as we know, that is mean the ratio between numerator and denominator, okay, it must with the equivalence form. So you can make it as this, 1 plus cos x over 1 plus cos x. So when you know that the denominator are the same, so you can just make it as a single fraction where the denominator is 1 plus cos x. So now you will get the numerator is 1 plus cos x minus sine square x. Okay, so now you have to think about how about the next term, since we already have the single form, because the right hand side is a single term. So it means that no matter how, we must simplify until the denominator 1 plus cos x can be eliminated, become 1. Okay, so what we should do is, if we want to eliminate the denominator, something different from the question is the sine square, right? This is something different compared with other terms. So this one going to replace. So anything, we just think about ratio, basic identity. So we know that sine square x is equals to 1 minus cos square x. So this is the idea. Okay, so let us replace it. Okay, 1 plus cos x minus 1 minus cos square x, all over 1 plus cos x. Okay, so now you will find that the constant 1 and 1 will be eliminated, and you only left the cos x. Do not forget negative, negative, positive. So like what I'm teaching my student, 减减加 is a positive. Do not make any mistake here. So this is a cos square x all over 1 plus cos x. Still remember just now I mentioned about we would like to eliminate the denominator, become 1. We only can get a single terms at the right side. So what we have to do is we're finding common factor amongst the remaining terms. So from here, we know that the first term of the numerator is cos x. The second one is cos square x. So it means that the cos x will become the common factors. Okay, so after we factorize out the common factor cos x, we will left 1 plus cos x, which is exactly the same like what I mentioned just now. It can be eliminated together with the new numerator. Both can be eliminated. Lastly, we get it. Okay, this is the right hand side. Okay. It seems like very easy and simple when you do it together with me, isn't it? But remember, during exam, I'm not around. Okay, but you need to practice yourself and do not panic. Once panic, everything that you know will become don't know. Okay, so I already shared about 3 tips. So far, so good. Okay, by looking back the first question, the second question, and also the third question, you will find that I'm giving you the different type of question so you can try to summary yourself. Okay, when I'm looking at this question, should I start from the complicated side, or should I convert it into the single sine or cosine, or should I make it as a single fraction? Okay, so these are the first three tips They're very famous amongst the, I think, trigonometry proving, not only for matriculation, Form 6, A-level, even for the SPM proving question, is also, it can be applied to your practice as well. Okay, so now if you are okay with it, we just go ahead for the tips 4 until the tip 7. Okay, so now we look at the tips 4. Okay, the tips 4 is about using the Pythagorean identity to transform between sine square and cos square. Actually, we are applying it for the previous question. Okay, I cannot say that every single proving question you're only using one tips. Sometimes it will be the mixture of the different tips together, but just the initial idea. Okay, all the tips I'm giving you here is just the initial idea how to start. Okay, so now let us look at this. Example 4, question example 4. Prove that the left-hand side is the two terms with reciprocal relation. Okay, 1 over sine x plus 1, 1 over sine x minus 1. But the right-hand side is a single terms and is a 2 over cos square x. Okay, my dear, please remember. Maybe you know that, okay, so the right-hand side, okay, this one is supposed to be equals to 2 secant square x, isn't it? So can we do, okay, right-hand side, I make it as a 2 secant square x. And the left-hand side, I also make it as a 2 secant square x. And then you say that they are equivalents. Can we do that? Okay, it cannot be like this. Okay, we are going to show exactly the left-hand side and it can be equivalence to the right-hand side in reciprocal form as well. Even though you are really understand about the reciprocal of cos square x is a secant square x. Okay, so do remember, we must get exactly the same at the right-hand side. Okay, so now let us start from it. Applying just now what we mentioned. Okay, equalize the denominator. Okay, equalize the denominator. So you can jot down this part is you want to make it as a single terms. Make it as single terms because the relation left and right is two terms and one terms. Okay, make it as a single terms. Okay, so when we equalize it, you will find that it's not that difficult, right? Okay, because now the numerator is different, but after you do the cross multiplication, make sure there is no careless mistake. Okay, and remember this one, I'm encouraged you put a, shall we put a bracket? Because here is a negative. Sometimes you cannot prove until the right-hand side, maybe certain, a very small careless mistake occur. Okay, so what we should do now is, now you have to make it as a single fraction form. So the numerator later on, the denominator you straight away make it as sine x plus 1, sine x minus 1. And the numerator will become sine x minus 1. If you want to open the bracket already, straight away open it, minus sine x minus 1. Is it correct? Okay. Okay, so from here, the numerator is easy because you found that the trigonometry terms, they eliminated because the sine x and the negative sine x is gone. So what you left is only negative 2, a constant number. And the numerator, double check, I always mention that the identity, Pythagoras identity, or what we call it, the algebraic, a plus b, a minus b. Okay, you don't need to expand it one by one. You can just straight away to know that it is supposed to be a squared minus b, b squared. Okay, this is a squared minus b squared. So it will become sine square x because your a is a sine x and your b is just a constant 1. So you become sine square x minus 1. Okay, sine square x minus 1. So there is so many negative terms. It's so complicated, right? So maybe we should simplify the negative instead of replace it in terms of cos. Okay, so from here we can do the factorization. Okay, so as we know that we don't want the negative, you can make it as a negative 2. Okay, and you factorize out the negative 1. And you will get that the terms of the sine square and 1, it will be reversed. Okay, the order will be reversed. it will become 1 minus sine square x. So did you notice that 1 minus sine square x is something familiar? It's very familiar. Is it equivalent to the identity cos square x? Right? So from here, after you simplify, you can get that it's a positive 2 over cos square x. So you get the right hand side. Okay? It's not that difficult. Okay with it? Okay. So now is it you feel that it's getting better? Especially the basic identity, we must clear with it. Okay, so now let us proceed to the next question. Okay, the next tips, Okay, know when to apply double angle. Okay, did you notice just now from the question 1 until the question 4? Okay, these 4 questions, their angle for left side and right side is exactly the same. So that's why there is no requirement to applying the double angle formula. Okay, so we have to observe every trigonometry terms in the question, especially when the changes of their angles. So this is what I mentioned. These terms are the angle are 2 times of another. If that is it, we have to ready using the double angle formulas. Okay, for example, we look at this question. Okay, the left hand side. Okay, the left hand side is prove that the identity. So we look at the angle, theta, theta, and theta. But when it comes to the right hand side, you found that the angle is double. Okay, it's double from theta. Okay, so it means that the approach we are going to use is using the double angle for formulas. Okay, the double angle formulas. Okay, so what we have to do is the double angle formula is only applicable to sine, cosine, and tangent. But now the right hand side, we have to prove it as a cotangent to theta. So maybe you can try to reverse thinking first. How we get cotangent to theta? So as we know that cotangent to theta is something, the ratio between sine and cos is tangent. So just now we already said that cotangent is reciprocal of tangent. So it means that the cos and sine will become reverse. Okay, so it should be something cos 2 theta, sine 2 theta. So it means that the double angle requirement, it will be understand about the double angle of cos and the double angle of sine. So as we know that cos 2 theta, we have 3. Still remember, we can do some revision. Okay, cos 2 theta, it can be equals to cos square theta minus sine square theta, 2 cos square theta minus 1, or maybe it's a 1 minus 2 sine square theta. Okay, there are 3 choices that you can choose as a double angle of cos 2 theta. So it means that we try to think about it, how we can transform the left-hand side, become maybe 3 of it. Okay, from 3 of these, maybe it's one of the terms you will compute, and automatically the sine 2 theta is a fixed form, which is 2 sine theta cos theta. Okay, it's a 2 sine theta cos theta. Okay, so if I'm ready with it, we start from the left-hand side. Okay, left-hand side, it will be 2 cos theta minus. So for me, I will straight away do the the substitution, make the secant as a reciprocal of cos. Because you no need to copy the question as long as you already write it as a left-hand side. And the denominator does not change anything. It's just a 2 sine theta. Okay. And then after that, what we should do for the numerator, for me, we look at it. There is a 1 layer, 2 layer, and the 3 layers, isn't it? So I prefer write it as this form. Make it as 1 over 2 sine theta. Okay, because the denominator actually is multiplication of reciprocal of the denominator, right? And here we just doing equalize the denominator. Okay, this part, we need to equalize the denominator. Okay, so which is something you will obtain must be cos theta at the bottom. Am I right? So the exiting 2 cos theta, you need to multiply with cos theta. So we should obtain 2 cos square theta. And this one, the 1 is just the exiting 1 minus 1. Okay, my dear, now you try to observe. With the double angle formula we're listing on right side, okay, what did you notice from the numerator and denominator? Did you notice that the denominator, let us rearrange it again, the constant, the coefficient in front of it, and then come with the sine theta. And for sure, after you multiply with the purple denominator, you get that the final product, the denominator, is exactly the same like sine 2 theta. And the numerator, okay, when these two you multiply together, you get that is a 2 cos square theta minus 1. So let us highlight. So which double angle will be applied here? So for sure, this one automatically is a sine 2 theta, right? Sine 2 theta. So it's here. It's exactly the same. And how about the numerator? Okay, your numerator, you get something in terms of 2 cos square theta minus 1, right? 2 cos square theta minus 1. That is a double angle of cos 2 theta. Okay, therefore, we can straight away simplify it as cos 2 theta over sine 2 theta. Okay, okay, allow me to write it here. Okay, so you will say that it's a cos 2 theta over sine 2 theta. So what is it? Just now we just think about it, isn't it? There is a ratio between cos and sine. It will be cotangent to theta. So you get it exactly the same. So when you look at the differences of the angle, please think about the double angle for formula. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think it's getting better and better. I believe that you can make it. Okay, so let us proceed to the next part. Okay, the next part, it will become more interesting, which is something involved mixture of angle. Okay, so maybe you can take a look for 1 minute. Okay, you can take a look for the 1 minute. Okay, the tip 6. When to apply addition angle formula. Hey, what does it mean by addition angle formula? So you look at the left hand side, it will be something compound angle between the A and B. Okay, this is a compound angle. Okay, all these four are compound angle. Okay, compound angle. Okay, so from the compound angle, then you need to simplify to get it as a negative cotangent. So for sure, if using the tips 1, we start from the complex side. So the left-hand side will be the complicated one. So the approach is very obvious that from all the angle A plus B and A minus B, so we need to apply the compound angle formula. Okay, so this is the idea. Left-hand side, compound angle formula. Sine A cos B plus cos A sine B. Make sure the formulas you didn't apply wrongly. Okay, kalau pun salah, I really have no idea. Okay, because the formula is given, you just need to make sure you apply it correctly. Okay, so from here, every single part for the numerator and denominator, you will get 4 terms. You will get 4 terms. Okay, another thing I need to highlight here is when it's involved the addition part, that is a minus, the subtraction, right? The subtraction of the angle. Okay, for example, this one, maybe I should erase something here. Okay, be careful with it. When there is a subtraction, and the subtraction is involved the compound angle, careless mistake very easily will happen. Okay, so the minus here. So what we should do is please put a bracket. Okay, because you're still expanding the compound angle for sine A minus B. So please put a bracket to prevent the careless mistake. And after that, you will find that the terms of 4, it will be reduced, become 1. Why I say so? Okay, you look at it. When this is a negative, negative is a plus, right? So sine A cos B automatically is eliminated. You don't need to expand it until finish. You just take a look. Oh, this one and this one can be eliminated. And what you have is cos A sine B, negative, negative become positive. Cos A sine B plus cos A sine B. So for sure you get the single terms. Okay, in the product form, there is a 2 cos A sine B. Okay, because they are the like terms. Okay, these two, they are like terms. So same goes to the denominator as well. Okay, so when you put a minus, when you expand it, it will become minus. So what did you notice? That is cos A cos B and cos A cos B can be eliminated. And the remaining part, it will be negative sine A sine B minus sine A sine B. So you will get the coefficient will become negative 2. Okay, so that's why the 2 and negative 2 can be eliminated again. And what else that can be eliminated? Sine B and sine B. So at last you get something equivalent to cos A over sine A. So the ratio cos over sine, cotangent. So do not forget, you still have a negative here, right? So you have to remember there is a negative at the denominator. So lastly, you get that it's a negative cotangent A. Okay. Okay. So far, so good. It's not that difficult, right? Okay, so this is the one of the way to do the expansion. Okay, we also can using the factor formula. Okay, we also can using the factor formula. Okay, how to make it as a factor formula? We look at it. Okay, that is a second approach. If you don't want to using the addition form. So as you know, that is a S minus S. Do you still remember what is it? S plus S equal to SC. Still can sing it? S minus S equal to CS, right? C plus C, 2CC, C minus C, negative 2SS. The things you want to confirm is which one and which factor formula that we should apply. So when you're looking at the first one, okay, this is a sine minus sine, right? This is sine minus sine. So we are using this for the numerator. And the denominator is cos minus cos. So we are using this for the denominator. And both part is converting from summation form to product form. So if you don't want to expand the compound angle, because if SPM, you never learn about the factor formula. But if you're already in the A-levels, the matriculation, or maybe it's a Form 6, you can straight away apply the factor formula. Okay, let us proceed to it. So the left-hand side, you can straight away make it as sine minus sine equal to 2CS. So the pattern, 2 cos in bracket, because we are going to do something to the angle. And the pattern is a sine and the bracket. This is my habit. Identify first what is it and then only proceed to the angle. And the denominator will be negative 2 sine. Right? Okay, if you are using factor formula. Factor formula. Kalau SPM, you are not learning yet. So maybe it can be like the new knowledge for you. Factor formula. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, some of the SPM student is watching, okay, because my ex-student brother or sister, okay, so maybe you can just treat it as a new thing. This is the second method for sister and brother, Okay, so inside it will be sum to product. As we know that I told you before, that will be finding the average of the angle. Okay, so now you look at it. What is the angle right now? The first angle is A plus B. The second angle is A minus B. So you cannot just fully memorizing or A plus B over 2, A minus B over 2. No, it's finding the average of the two angles. Okay, so it means here I have to write it as A plus B plus A minus B divided by 2. So same goes to the second angle from the 2 cosine. The same thing as well. Okay, the first angle minus the second angle divided by 2. Okay, and this one also the same. The first angle plus the second angle and divided by 2. So same goes to this. Okay, so you double check. Did you notice that the terms at the back, you no need to simplify it at all because they are exactly the same. The sine and the sine, these two are exactly the same. So you no need to simplify it, but you can just straight away make it disappear, right? Cancelling. Okay, you cancel it. Okay, so at last, what you need to do is just the 2 and the 2 is gone as well. So what you left is just the cos. So A plus A divided by 2. So it still left the A. B minus B, 0 is gone. So at last, the angle you obtain is just a A. Right? And same goes to the denominator, it's a negative. The angle A and A, right? A plus A divided by 2. So it's a A. So it's a sine A. B minus B is gone. So you only left cos A over sine A. The same answer we will obtain, which is negative for tangent A. There is only 2 lines. That's why matriculation you have learned about the factor formula is much more easier comparing to expanding the compound angle. Okay. So the tips number 6, okay with it? Okay, when to applying the addition angle formula. Okay, so it's already 9:15. Okay, thank you so much still with me. Okay, let us come to the very last tips for you. Okay, the last tip in a hands-on question. Okay, so let us look at the last one. This one. It's not that difficult. This is something very common and it can be applying from the tips 1 until tip 6. It means that we cannot say that the question must be fixed like this, but this is a basic skill, how to do expansion, factorization, simplify, cancelling, everything you have to know. Okay, because many students, they just remember, anything, faster, look at the formula. Is it the formula is given? We should using the formula in the formula given formula form? No, somehow factorization and expansion is the very important part for you. Okay, let's give it a try for the one example. Okay, this one, example 7. I like this question very much. Okay, so prove that 1 minus sine x over 1 plus sine x. Sometimes this question, many students unable to solve it and maybe using more than 20 minutes or 30 minutes to get it because they have no idea. We should start from the left or right. If you want to say complicated, the left-hand side seems like complicated as well. The right-hand side also seems like complicated. But do not forget, the left-hand side, we cannot simplify anymore. But the right-hand side, we can do the expansion. After the expansion, we can simplify and reduce the form until to get the left-hand side form. That's why we should start from right-hand side, sorry. Okay, we should start from the right-hand side. So did you notice that the question is saying prove that? Prove that it means that you can choosing either from left or right as long as they are equivalents. So I didn't give the question show that, right? Okay, so now what you need to do is doing the expansion. Okay, we just expand it. Okay, expand it. Okay, after expand it, you have to make sure you are expanding with the correct formula and no careless mistake. So from here, you will find that the 2 terms in square form must be secant square and tangent square. Normally, you will say that, okay, faster we're using the identity. Yeah, that's right. It should be like this. But please to take a look, the left-hand side. The left-hand side, the only remaining term is just a basic sine x. So it means that we should open everything in the ratio form. Okay, we should open everything in the ratio form. If you go and substitute the tangent square in terms of secant, it's still quadratic, right? It's still quadratic. For example, here, secant square x plus tangent square x. Secant square x plus tangent square x, it didn't get 1. There's a mistake. Okay, many people, oh, these two, you get 1. No, which is wrong. Okay, you double check the left-hand side, only the basic sine x. That's why we open it reciprocal. Secant square x is a reciprocal of cos square. And the tangent x is a ratio between sine over cos. Secant. And the tangent square, it's just the same thing. You don't need to worry about it. Tangent square, it doesn't mean always applying the identity together with secant square. It can become the ratio between sine square over cos square. Okay, so now you will find that this is the first term, second terms, and this is the third terms. So among that 3 terms, you found that they have the common denominator. Okay, which the denominator is cos square x. So what we can do now is you can equalize it. Actually, it's not equalize it, just combine it back, become a single fraction form. Okay, this is a cos square x. And the numerator, it must have 3 terms. Okay, 1 minus sine x plus sine square x. Okay, and forget about the 2. Okay, so is it this one is a little bit looks like, right, this one is it a little bit looks like 1 minus 2u plus u squared. Or maybe you rearrange it, you make it become u squared minus 2u plus 1. Right? So actually this is also equals to u minus 1 squared. Or maybe I can write it as 1 minus u squared. Am I right? So which one you are going to apply? For me, I was choosing the 1 minus u. Okay, because you know that because you want to make it as 1 minus sine x, nampak tak? Okay, the numerator, that is a clue for you. The term is 1 minus sine x. So I'm choosing this. Okay, it's an equivalence, the factorized form. That's why this is a very basic one. Expand, and then here you have to know how to factorize it. Okay, and the denominator, if you want to factorize it together with the sine, it means that the denominator, we need to apply basic identity to make it become the like terms in sine x. So it means that the cos square x, it will become 1 minus sine square x. And the numerator, it will become 1 minus sine x squared. So now they're already in the like terms. The only thing you have to focus on is the denominator. So this one will be 1 minus sine x squared. And the denominator actually is like what I mentioned about to you. This is the a squared minus b squared. Right? This is a squared minus b squared. Do not forget the 1 is a, the b is a sine x. So it means we can do it as 1 minus sine x, 1 plus sine x. So what did you notice from here? The 1 minus sine x can be eliminated. So you will get that the numerator is 1 minus sine x with the power 1. And the denominator, you only left the 1 plus sine x. So you get exactly the same as the left-hand side. Okay? Okay, so that's it. This is a 7 different kind of question and also the important skill, okay, when we are proving the identity of the trigonometry or any equivalence form. Okay, so at the last, by the last part of the question, okay, after you solving all these things, okay, actually this is the last tip. Yes, very important. We should take one step and watch one step, because sometimes you just do it and then why I cannot do anything, and then you restart everything again. So the time wasted. So take one step, watch one step. It means that we should decide after I'm doing this, am I still can continue until you reach the destination, the question that you want to prove. If unable to get it, faster you change the initial step. So that's why take one step, watch one step is very important for you. Okay, so when it comes to this, no matter how, I hope that today's section you can feel like more you can feel like more comfortable with the proving, or maybe you can feel like, okay, I know already how to start and how to prevent the careless mistake that you have made. And for sure, I hope that you can know how to apply it in your examination, for your group assignment, and also for sure, if you want to enter the science stream, trigonometry is one of the subject that is very important in engineering as well. So I hope that you have no problem with it. So do you have any question? You can write here. Okay, I give you about 5 minutes. Miss, this is live recorded. You can, this live, you can, anytime you also can repeat again. Okay? You want to watch, but in the car. Okay, it's okay, no problem. Oh, Shukri. Shukri is MS31, my ex-student. Okay? So if you have any question, you can tap over here and then I will try to answer you. And then after that, I will give you a 7 question and you try to follow the 7 tips I share with you and then you can do it. So the answer and also the suggested solution, I will give you a letter. You can give it a try first. So any question you have, you can type here. Okay, I can waiting for you. Okay. If no question, then it will be good. Okay, there is one question here. That's from Ming Xian. Okay, look at it. When we must prove from left to right. Okay, when must prove from left to right, when the question given you the instruction show that. Prove that it means like as long as left, right is equivalent, right? If I'm not mistaken, if I'm wrong, please correct me. Okay. Okay, any other question? 77 of you? Do you have any question? 1 plus tangent 2x, tangent x is equal to secant 2x. What is the question actually? Hamiza? The question is about 1 plus tangent 2x, tangent x equal to secant 2x. You want to proving this question. Okay, maybe you can PM me. I just want to, if you have any problem with like any tips that I can share with you. Okay. So if you have no problem with it, I give you 7 questions first. Okay. And also maybe you can try to, okay. I give you 7 questions. Wait a moment. Okay. I give you this 7 question. You can try to copy the question. Okay. So at the same time, others also can try to type your question here. Maybe I can give about 5 minutes and then we end our section for today's. And today is my first time for the live streaming. I hope that even though you are in your hometown, so I hope it can give you a little bit help in proving the trigonometry. So do you have any question again? Okay, Amiza, no problem. Okay, yang lain ada tak? Okay, no, yes. Okay, never mind. I give you some time. You just copy the 7 question, or maybe you can snap the 7 question, and you try to using the 7 tips I share with you and prove it. If you are able to do it, congratulations. If you still cannot win it, just need to practice. Okay. Do you need me to recall back the 7 tips, or maybe you can watch back again because this live video after that you still can watch back, isn't it? There's no problem. You can watch back again. Okay. Okay. So if you have no problem and no question here, then I just have to say bye-bye with you all. Enjoy your day, and I hope that is really give you some help. For my student, later I will give you the feedback form. Okay, no question. I will give you some feedback form. Maybe you can give me some suggestion about our today's live. If no problem with it, I think we are very punctual. 8 o'clock, 8:30 and start. Now it's about 9:27. So we have using about 1 hour and already shared a 7 question and another 7 question for you to practice. I hope it can become very effective for you. So if you have no problem with it, see you. Bye. Bye. Okay. Still can leave your comment here, no problem. Even I end already the broadcast. Okay, bye.